Hi, it's Stuart McPhee here, and I'm coming to you from Battery Park in New York City, and just over my shoulder there is an area now commonly known as Ground Zero, formerly where the World Trade Center towers stood in Lower Manhattan in New York. And I was here in New York last night speaking at the New York Traders Expo in the hotel, and I spoke to a number of people afterwards, and they said, "What are your plans?" And I said, "Oh, I'm heading down to Lower Manhattan tomorrow to go to Ground Zero." They said, "Have you been there before?" And I said, "Yes. Back in 1998, I visited New York, and I remember standing at the base of the towers and looking up and just being amazed at how massive those buildings were. And then we stood on top of them and looked at the view up Manhattan, and was just amazed at what a presence they had. And of course now, it's just amazing that they're not there, and I know many people have come here and have felt similar emotions, how two massive buildings that once dominated the Lower Manhattan skyline now just simply don't exist. And of course we went back there and had to look at all the work going on now, and as they're rebuilding and putting other things in their place. Which sort of, it's a very emotional place to be, but it reminds me of something really to do with trading. And we often talk about losing trades and losing money and not doing well with trading, and how we cope with those situations. And I think it's times like this and situations like this which allow us to put things into perspective. And we really can just weigh up where trading sits in our life so far as importance is concerned. And, how do we deal with situations where things don't go our way? And of course, in trading, when situations don't go our way, it often, results in us losing money. So how do we deal with that? And one of the ways I do that, as I said, is to really put things into perspective. And when situations occur like this and other tragedies in the world occur, and you think to yourself, look, I'm going to lose $500 today from a trade. Is this really the worst possible thing that can happen to me? Do I still have my health? Do I still have my home? Do I still have my family, my children, and all those good things in my life? Then maybe losing that trade, that $500 today, is probably not the worst thing that could possibly happen to me today. And of course, look, we want trading to work, we want to have consistent success, and it's no good just saying, oh, it's okay. But really, in the wider scheme of things and in the world, if trading doesn't work for us, it's probably not such a huge loss. If we have a few losing trades in a row again, it's probably not a huge deal. But one of the other things that's very close to my home, and you may have seen it, just happened very recently, and here's a cover of a newspaper back home with a picture that was well circulated around the world, and that is the koala being fed water. Back home in Australia, very close to my home in Melbourne, just up in the mountains, we've had tragic bushfires go through, and about 200 or 300 people have lost their lives. Thousands of people have been displaced from their homes, and about 2,000 homes destroyed. Just extraordinary tragedy. Bushfires sweeping through a huge amount of land and destroying people's lives. And again, and I'm not trying to draw comparisons between what happened here back in 2001 or those bushfires. It's really just highlighting tragedy around the world, and what the tragedy that happens around the world. And then we think about our own situation. And if everything else is okay in our life, but we have a few losing trades in a row, I think it's important, and it's certainly something I do, and that is put things into perspective and realise that certainly a lot worse things can happen in our lives. So again, we need to deal with losses. We need to deal with situations in trading where things don't go our way. And one of the ways that I do that is just put things into perspective, realise life could be a lot worse, and perhaps life isn't so bad. So hopefully maybe that's something you can use, and think of all the good things in your life. And as someone said to me in an interview last night, trading is really just a microcosm of our own life. It's just a very small part of what we do and who we are. So if that helps you deal with when things aren't going well and aren't going right, perhaps you lose a bit of money, then hopefully that's for the best. Anyway, as I said, coming to you not far from Ground Zero, here this morning, having been here before and stood on top of the buildings and seeing how massive they were, it's very emotional for me to have a look here and just see just nothing there anymore. It's just amazing. So anyway, just perspective, keep things in perspective with your trading, and hopefully that will help you deal with those situations when things don't go your way. I'll speak to you soon.